want to speak about Rabbi David Messass, who was very great from Meknes in his time in this special edition. He was most notably the son of another great rabbi, Rabbi Shalom Messass, who was a chief rabbi of Morocco and a chief rabbi in Jerusalem later on. Now, Rabbi David Messass was born in the year 1934. He passed away on the 20th of November in the year 2011. That happened to have been, and that would have been the 23rd of Cheshvan on that date. So we didn't record a video at the time of his Hilula, so I thought I'd speak a bit about him today. He was actually born on Rosh Chodesh Av, which is a month we happen to be on, so there is connection, let's just say, to this month. So let's explore a few of the highlights of the famous rabbi's life. Now, he was born in an area in Morocco called Meknes, a place we've spoken about on various occasions before. There were many great rabbis in the great community of yesteryear in Meknes over there. I believe, obviously, his father's name was Shalom Messass. His mother's name was Jamila, I believe, from the El Khref family, I believe. And obviously, Rav Shalom Messass will later on become a chief rabbi in Jerusalem. I believe it was around the 1964 time period. He would actually move to Paris over there. He would actually get married to Rabbinit Doli. She happened to be from the Berdugo rabbinic dynasty, but from that family in of itself. So he'd become which is very interesting. And so he would get there, and he would become the rabbi of Geneva for several years. Geneva is, let's say, the second most populated place in Switzerland. Respectively, we've spoken about a few rabbis that worked in Switzerland. He very much was one. He would become the chief rabbi of Paris for several terms, and was, let's say, the same time, the head of the rabbinical council over there. He headed the École Maïmonide. It was a French language Jewish day school located in Montreal, in Quebec. And I think they would have various different campuses on the Parkenhaven campus in Côte Saint-Luc and the Jacob Safra campus in Saint-Laurent, if I'm not mistaken. He was chief rabbi, I believe, of Paris since 1995. He passed away on Sunday, the 20th of November 2011. I believe he was about 77 years of age at the time he passed away, so it would have been about 16 years, the chief rabbi over there. Very, very prominent position over there. And I think at the time when he had his funeral, the chief, I think Rabbi Shlomo Amar, if I'm not mistaken, went to Paris, the main synagogue over there, and his body was then flown to Har Menuchot for burial over there in the city of Jerusalem, the capital of Israel. I think he was buried next to his father. And it's actually quoted, I think, someone with the name Alpha Omega. It was... They would actually quote David Messass, Rabbi David Messass, as I'll address him, has dedicated his life to the pursuit of excellence in Jewish thought and teachings. He was the son of Rabbi Shalom Messass, the great rabbi, the head of the Rabbi of Jerusalem. The Rabbi Messass firmly established his background in Jewish studies, studied under great Gemara rabbis, including Rabbi Yitzchak Sebag of the famous Keter Torah Yeshiva. He earned degrees, I think, in philosophy and in general psychology, and received various different honors, including the Palmaz Academics for his service to education and the rank of Chevalier de la Légion d'Honneur. And he was elected, obviously, the chief rabbi and the rabbinical council in Paris in his time. Now, I believe him and his wife would have, it's reported, over 3 children, also 2 sons and a daughter. That is very interesting. So he was very, very much decorated in various different places. And really, you can see various different countries the great rabbi was. We can explore a bit more within regards to his life. There is much that we can say about him. He was one of the famous rabbis of his time. He was known as the Rabbi of Paris in some circles. They would actually mention about him, which is very, very interesting. And remember, this is not the first video we recorded about rabbis from the Messass family. We recorded a video at the time of the Hilulot of his father, Rabbi Shalom Messass, and also we recorded of another relative of his, Rabbi Yosef Meshash. Remember, it was a famous it's a rabbinic dynasty, you could say, in of itself, and many people have spoken in great lengths within regards to the greatness of the family, respectively. So we can add on a bit more information within regards to the rabbinic dynasty in of itself, as we mentioned about him before. That's about his move was in the year 1964. I think he actually arrived in Paris over there. Remember, we've spoken in this series possibly about maybe a good 50, a dozen rabbis that would actually spend a window of time in Paris at various different occasions. It itself will be prominent rabbis. I think we spoke about a few chief rabbis also of Paris. I think most notably Rabbi Tetuan, especially, and I think we spoke this Rav Sutrik. I think that was a key rabbi over there. Also, he was also known to have, let's just say, a great personality. I think Rabbi Yirmiyahu Cohen, who was the head of Jewish court of Paris, would actually say he managed the rabbinate very consistently. The Paris Bedin, especially, he appeared in many places. He was busy constantly. What a great true rabbi, true friend he was to many of the great rabbinate he was in those places in time. He would study the Ketzer Torah Yeshiva, actually happened to be in Meknes over there. And I believe, according to another source, he would arrive in Paris in 1967 before being in various different rabbinical positions once he had arrived there. So he would take on various different rabbinical importances over there and really, let's just say, excel in his time while he was, obviously he was at the head of the rabbinate. There was more information said. Remember, Meknes, we've spoken also possibly about a good 25 rabbis at least that actually would have spent a window of time in Meknes while they were there at various different points in time. So I would recommend everyone to look back on those videos also, which were recorded about the great rabbis from there. Now, we could say even more within regards to him. 77 years of age at the time he passed away. I think he was highly respected. We spoke about also that I think he had connections, I think, also with the Avat Shalom organization, publishing house also. That's another interesting thing that we can point out within regards to him. Obviously, his brilliance, I think, in the rabbinate would actually be very, very much excelled because his father was the chief rabbi of Jerusalem and the chief rabbi of Meknes. So he would really, really be able to excel in the various different, let's just say, importances while he was there already. And he passed away, I think it was the 23rd of Cheshvan. That happened to be, let's just say, its own right, a very, very key week that happened to be. There was many Hilulas, I think, on that specific week in of itself. When it was his Hilula. So I think at the time period when it will be his Hilula, then we get to light candles in his memory and learn more about the great Rabbonim of Yessi, and also don't forget to watch over the other videos we recorded about the great rabbis that actually hailed from Morocco in his time. It was very, very widely reported after he passed away, after Rabbi in various different news outlets, just to say, in of its own right. And I think, for example, the Sephardic Studies website will actually give a good biography within regards to him. They talk about, I believe, there's a lot of information actually within regards to Rav Shalom Meshash, especially on the internet, especially his father, and who was very, very close also to Rav, to obviously he was the father of Rabbi David Messass. I think we could just say a bit more within regards to him. I think he had one of his brothers, for example, was Abraham Albert Messass. That's something else we could point out about him. I think he was definitely a French Meknes rabbi also. And we spoke about Jamila Messass was obviously from the Berdugo family that we've spoken about before also. I think actually came from Berdugo family. His wife Jamila, I think her parents was Mossi El-Khrif and Rabbinit Hannah El-Khrif, if I'm not mistaken. So there was on that specific front also. He was actually from an area, Meknes Tafilalat in Morocco, and I think that was the name of the place in of itself. So that's also very interesting. I think the French Prime Minister at the time, François Fillon, said that about Rabbi Messass that he helped build the Jewish future in Paris and beyond. Also, so he was very close to, let's say, the dignitaries at the time. There's actually a famous picture of Rabbi David Messass when he met Rabbi Michel Serafati and the French President Nicolas Sarkozy, I think back in October 2003, that you can see. So he had closeness very much with various different dignitaries of the various different places also, and was very, very famous in his place in of itself. So I'd recommend everyone to learn more about him. I think before he passed away, he was actually cared very much in the Paris hospital. I think Rabbi Moshe Arbel, who was a close relative of the family, shared his thoughts about with Our newspaper at the time he passed away, noting that 21 years ago from the time obviously passed away, Rabbi Meshash was a chief rabbi of Geneva, actually, so he was over there, and would accept the position as the head of rabbinical court in Paris, obviously then becoming the chief rabbi of France, capital. He would found, reports over, the congregation Avat Shalom in Paris, and was very busy delivering various different Torah lectures. He brought back a disfranchised Jews to their culture and religious roots. That's what Rabbi Arbel said, and continued the path of his fathers, both as a rabbi, as a rabbinical judge. His door was always open to those who asked, and he was a philanthropic man, one whose countenance was filled with beauty, light, and spirituality. That's what Rabbi Moshe Arbel said. Within regards to, obviously, Rabbi Moshe Shlomo Amma attended the funeral at that point in time when he was coming, and there are various lectures within regards to him also on the internet. So friends, it was a special edition. We were speaking about Rabbi David Messass, former chief rabbi of France. Now we're a community here. We learn about the famous rabbis of yesteryear. If you descend from any of the rabbis we are speaking about, please send me an email. I would love to hear more information on the great Chachamim, and very much that you could all join our community. We are nearing now a staggering 7,000 subscribers on this channel, which is a phenomenal achievement, and I'm urging everyone to subscribe. If you feel anyone is interested in watching any of these video clips that we are recording, please share these videos also to other people and let others enjoy it. Also, and if you descend from any big Chachamim and you feel that we should include them inside the series, please send me more information about them. It will be great to include various other great rabbis of yesteryear into this series, and we grow as a community. We also record with great personalities and of yesteryear also on this series, and we do a lot of importance as we're trying to concentrate on, and do a lot of Israel advocacy also online, which is also familiar. So he was very, very well traveled. He was very close with various rabbis, and was seen important by various different international figures also, not just in the Jewish world, but in a diverse sense and intimate sense also. So wishing you all well, friends. Take care, and thanks, and keep tuned to the channel. Thanks.